The second development now, a contempt of court accusation facing Allen's attorneys. Today, I-Team 8 has obtained new documents showing what could unfold in that hearing happening Monday morning. Monday's hearing is set to deal with contempt of court accusations against Richard Allen's attorneys, Brad Rozzi and Andrew Baldwin. Prosecutors want the judge to take some type of disciplinary action against the defense team over a leak of evidence in the Delphi murders last year. That leak, tied back to the defense team's legal office, included never-before-released photos of the scene where Abby Williams and Libby German died. Judge Francis Gohl has already called the attorneys grossly negligent for the leak, pushing them off the case in October of last year.
We've had an unexpected turn of events, ladies and gentlemen. The defense attorneys have withdrawn their representation of Mr. Allen.
Allen's attorneys have filed notice. They plan to introduce evidence Monday that prosecutors had been in contact with online true crime podcasters and YouTube creators. One of them, Gary Baudet, who runs the YouTube page Fig.Solves, which has spent extensive time covering the Delphi case.
I've gone from learning about the Delphi murders while listening to a podcast called True Crime Garage to creating YouTube videos to spread awareness about the case and to encourage people to tip in relevant information to law enforcement, hoping that a little nudge would make someone who knew something say something.
The defense team points to an October 22nd, 2022 video from the page that talks about a bullet found at the crime scene and linked to Allen when that information was still under seal and a week before it was unsealed. Allen's attorneys also plan to present evidence of Baudet communications about the disqualification of defense counsel, giving prosecutors defense work product and court staff revelations. In a letter to the court obtained by I-Team 8 Tuesday, Baudet defends his work, saying he did contact prosecutors when he received unsolicited Delphi evidence. He goes on to write, "I must unequivocally state that I was not involved in any strategy to disseminate crime scene photos." He goes on to claim his online interactions have been misrepresented by individuals who have targeted me due to my support for the Indiana prosecutor, law enforcement, and the Honorable Judge Gohl. Again, that hearing is set for Monday, and in case you missed it, if you're just joining us, the judge has granted a defense request to move up Richard Allen's trial by 5 months. It's now set to start May 13th.
So before we get started here, just watching that clip again, I realized the defense got something else wrong. They claimed that I did a video on October 22nd, 2022. That is incorrect. I did it November 22nd, 2022. A week before the document came out, I did a review where I was guessing what I think would happen because they did a hearing on November 22nd. So look, here's proof. As you see, there is nothing I did on October 22nd. And this would even show deleted things. Look, on 10:30, this test thing that I did, I deleted it. So it still shows up here. So it's not like I deleted something. There was nothing there. They're talking about this one, sealed document hearing. November 22nd, 2022. So they can't even get the dates right. And that is just a precursor to everything I'm going to go over because you're going to see a bunch of things that they get wrong or they just blatantly lie about. So let's go. All right, so we got Hennessy talking to Skip here. Hennessy, do you know of different names that he went by? Skip, he went by Fig.Solves. He went by Fig Newton USA, I think, on Reddit, which is incorrect. It was Fig Mutant, not Fig Newton. So you could just see already how accurate they are with their information. Skip says Fig, Fig.Solves, Fig Newton. Again, he's wrong. And then Hennessy hands a conversation over that me and Skip had over text, allegedly. Skip says, he and I talked a lot. Like I said, we were good friends, so we communicated a lot. It was mostly him calling me and talking about someone named Cicada and how much he was into her and me telling him to move on with his life and get over it before he does something dumb and to stop harassing her. That was most of our conversations. Okay, so they hand over that text conversation. Then it's McClelland's turn. He says, Judge, May I ask a few foundational questions? The court says yes. Mr. McClellan says, Mr. Wood, the conversation that you had with Mr. Bodette, does it have anything to do about an email sent from Mr. Baldwin's or Woodhouse's about them? The answer is it does not. So they're not having relevant conversation here. Mr. McClellan, does it have anything to do with photos that were taken from Mr. Baldwin's office? I don't believe so. So you can see he's already starting to lie a little bit. I don't believe so. When you know the answer is no. Mr. McClellan, does it have anything to do with the press release from the defense that was released on December of 2022? I can't recall. So remember when Kagan Klein did that? I can't recall. I don't remember. So this is what liars do. Let's continue. McClellan asks, does it have anything to do with what's going on, the leak from the defense out to the public? I mean, this conversation here that you're trying to admit, the answer, oh, no. Mr. McClellan then says, Judge, then I object to the relevance to this hearing. The court, in response, looking at Mr. Hennessy, no, I won't rehash. The court, okay then, I will show N is not admitted. So Hennessy knows, he's showing right here that he knows this isn't real evidence. It's all made up BS. So this is all a show. They're just trying to get stuff in the record. Okay, so then he tries again. Hennessy tries again. He hands over another exhibit. Can you identify that? Yeah, this is text conversation between Fig and myself, and it's covering several different things about the case, about sources in the case mainly. So Skip would say things like, I talked to the prosecutor of Miami County, and I got a friend in the FBI, and I got inside information, and hey, I'll get you an interview with Doug Carter. So it would make all this stuff up. So I would probably say stuff back. Oh, yeah, you know Doug Carter? Sure. Nick McClellan's my best friend. He tells me everything. So this stuff was out of context. Okay, so they take that exhibit, the next one, they turn it in. McClellan asks, I guess I need to, can I take a look at it, please, to see what it is? Judge, same objection as before. So after McClellan looks at it, the relevance to what we're here to discuss today in court, so just same objection. The court looks at Mr. Hennessy and says, so Judge goes like, any response, Hennessy? He says, same response. And then the court says, and I show O is not admitted. So he's not even putting up a fight. Hennessy knew beforehand that this stuff was not real evidence. Just wasting everyone's time and trying to throw me under the bus to try and silence my YouTube videos, which makes the defense look bad. That's all it's about. Okay, then Hennessy goes again. I'm going to hand you an envelope, marked flash drive, Fig, November 22, yada, yada. Are you familiar with that? So he's asking Skip, he's familiar with it. Says, yes, he is. Something on YouTube. The question is, and what does he talk about? Oops, what about in that YouTube? Answer from Skip. He talks about cartridges, bullets, casings, unspent casings, cartridges, 6 mostly, evidentiary stuff for the most part. So here's actual audio evidence. It's a clip of Julie Melvin telling me about the shell casing on April 18th, 2022. So this is where I got the information from, not a leaked search warrant.
Mm-hmm. So later I asked Brad Weber, can you tell me what was the type of gun that they took? And he said they took my Fig.Sauer. I said, what caliber was it? He said 40 caliber. So I asked Kay, I said, why did they take it? She said they specifically said they were taking it for ballistics testing. I said, ballistics? So they think that, that tells me maybe there was something fired out there.
Right.
40 caliber. So that's information that nobody else would know, and the police aren't going to tell you that. But right.
So Mr. Hennessy moves to offer Q. Defendant's Exhibit Q offered the court. Question, Mr. McClellan, Judge, I'm going to object. Same objection, irrelevance. I don't know what he has to do with the information outlined in the state's filing. Mr. Hennessy says, same response. So then the judge says, all right, I'll show Q is not admitted. So none of this stuff is getting admitted. Hennessy knows better, so he's not even putting up a fight. Okay, then Hennessy asked, and then did Mr. Bodette reveal a lot of detailed information about the investigation? Objection, says McClellan. Judge, same objection. I'm not sure that's relevant to what we're here to discuss today. The court sustains it. Mr. Hennessy says it's the same relevance. It's the same my theory and theme regarding contempt and punishment. There's 2 parts to it. The court, you need to give that exhibit to Jody if you want it in the record, sir. Mr. Hennessy, she has it. The court, oh, you've got it? Okay. Do you have any further questions for the witness? Mr. Hennessy, offer to prove. The court, go ahead. Mr. Hennessy says, I'd like to do it in question and answer form. It'll be brief. That's the preference under the rule. The court, you may proceed. Mr. Hennessy says, thank you. So Hennessy asks Skip, could you please, just for the record, indicate what kind of information Beaudet was putting out there? Answer, specifically to the October, November of 2022, or just in general all over? A lot of stuff. So he claimed to have different sources, and he talked about a lot of things. Very vague. Hennessy, wouldn't he indicate that there was going to be a release of documents in 1 week, and then that occurred within 1 week? There was news broadcast about documents coming out. It was in the friggin' news. Ay.
The man accused of killing those 2 teenage girls in 2017 is due in court this morning. A judge ordering 50-year-old Richard Allen, who was arrested just last month, to appear in person. Alex Perez is in Delphi, Indiana, with the latest. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Michael. Today could be the day the public finally learns more about suspect Richard Allen, what led police to him, and why they charged him with the murders of Abby and Libby. Now, 50-year-old Richard Allen was arrested last month and charged with killing 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Libby German. At the time of the arrest, prosecutors asked to have court documents sealed, and it remains a mystery what evidence exactly led police to arrest Allen. But today, a judge has asked Allen to appear in person for a hearing to determine if some of those documents could have finally be made public. Investigators have been hunting for the girls' killers since February of 2017.
Answer, yeah, he did. I do believe June 16th, 2023, he said that his source told him they're going to release a large set of documents. Oh, man. Some are older, some are new. That's how he described it. And then a week or so later, they released them. Did he post that? Oh, question. Did he post that? Had the unredactable probable cause affidavit filed support of the charges against Mr. Allen? Answer, yes. What? So that is a lie. I did not post it a week before. Wow. Where's the evidence of that? That I posted it a week before? I didn't have it a week before, so it's impossible. Okay. What a liar. Okay. And was that before it was public? Yeah. Oh, here it is. Okay. And was that before it was publicly available? I don't recall exactly. See, what a liar. That's hilarious. No, I did not have it early, so I did not post it early. Don't recall exactly. I do recall that he was adamant about the fact the PCA had 2 versions. There was a 1.0 and a 2.0, and what we've seen, the public seen, was a 2.0 version, and that was, again, so I have no idea what he's talking about here, about the different versions. What I do know from having lawyer friends is that there's always multiple versions and rough drafts and redrafts and everything. So of course it's going to have multiple versions. So yeah, maybe I wasn't getting leaked information, but I know what the obvious things are. So let's move on. Let's see what else little Skipper's lying about. Okay, question. And did he claim that his source was an employee of Judge Gohl? Answer, he did. Here, it gets good. Question, did he ever identify that person? He did not. Okay, so I said that Judge Gohl's employee gave me something, but I never said who. So you can't answer who gave it to me. You can't obviously prove who gave it to me because no one ever gave me anything. Me telling Skip stuff because he was saying that Doug Carter was his source and all this crazy stuff, it does not make it true. It's taken out of context. So this is a sad attempt. Very sad. Okay, so question, did he ever identify that person? Answer, he did not. Question, did he attribute other leaked information to that source? He said that one was, well, more of an opinion-based. So then he starts going into an opinion that I have, which all of these things were my opinion. They were not fact. So McClellan jumps in. Judge, I'm going to object at this point. I think we've gone beyond an offer of proof. We're getting into speculation. Hennessy, no, we're not. McClellan on what Mr. Beaudet thought or didn't think. The court sustained McClellan. So I don't have a problem if he wants to offer proof. I don't have a problem if he wants to submit documents to the court as an offer to proof. But I think we've gotten outside the scope at this point, Judge. We are well beyond the offer of proof. Now, Judge Gohl looks at Hennessy. Do you have any additional information that you wish to give? Judge Gull looks at Hennessy. We're well beyond the offer of proof. Do you have any additional information that you wish to get from the witness? Mr. Hennessy, I'm sorry, where are, and then the judge cuts in, are you done with this witness? I've sustained the state's objection. Mr. Hennessy, no, I'm sorry. Okay. Did he identify any other sources? Answer. Did he say it again? Sorry. Question. Did he identify any other sources? Answer. He did. Who? Answer. Prosecutor McClellan. And was he in communication with Mr. McClellan? He was. Mr. McClellan jumps in. Mr. McClellan, judge, again, I'm going to object. I think we're outside the scope to offer proof. So at this point, I'm going to object to the continued line of questioning. Mr. Hennessy continues. The documents would establish that Mr. McClellan and Mr. Bodette were in communication. Were they trading information? No, that's a lie. Mr. McClellan said he wanted to talk to other people in the group. Yep, regarding the leaks from the defense and the crime scene photos. Mr. McClellan sent Mr. Bodette a message telling him to delete everything, which is totally taken out of context. On that would be testimony. And then lastly, I'm sorry. So he and Mr. McClellan communicated. And then any other sources besides the employee of Judge Gull. Mr. McClellan jumps in. Well, Judge, I'm going to renew the same objection. I think this is outside the offer of proof of wise testimony of why these exhibits are relevant to the hearing here today. The court. Sustained. We're done with this offer of proof, sir. The court looks at Hennessy. Sustained. We're done with this offer of proof, sir, because they were just wasting everyone's time, not offering any proof. 7, Mr. Hennessy. Well, not really. The court. Yes, you are. Mr. Hennessy. Well, but I have a right to make a record. The court. Well, then make your record in a summary fashion, not through this witness, because you are violating any kind of offer of proof. Hennessy. Well, the court. You're just having him testify to information that you want to get in the record that you can't substantiate or support. This is the truth. This is why they're doing it. To try and get things in the record that they aren't able to prove. All right, the Hennessy, blah, blah, blah. Make something up. The court, do you have any questions for this witness? McClellan, no, Your Honor. The court, all right, thank you. You may step down, little skip. Mr. Hennessy, I recall Mr. Mullins, witness sworn. So little Skippy walked down with his tail in between his legs, doing nothing but wasting everyone's time, not able to provide actual proof. All right, so then after the hearing on March 18th, Judge Gull said the prosecution and the defense could write statements to finish out the arguments. I think she was tired of Hennessy just coming up with BS, wasting everyone's time. But the perfect thing, the way Judge Gull summed it up perfectly, was this comment to Hennessy. You're just having him testify, skip, to information that you want to get into the record, that you can't substantiate or support. So think that over. Okay, so then here's my favorite line. So after the hearing, Hennessy wrote this and his final claims. Additionally, Sergeant Holman and Mr. Mullins testified that they were aware that Mr. McClellan was exchanging information with Fig.Solves, the most prodigious leaker of all. Exchanging information with Fig.Solves, the most prodigious leaker of all. The court would not allow evidence of the substance of those communications. Of course they wouldn't, because they weren't evidence. And then here it is. It, therefore, is not known what information Mr. McClellan disclosed. So what they're saying here is, we know Fig and McClellan exchanged information, but we don't know what it was. So if you don't know what it was, then how do you know it was leaked information? How do you know it was important? How do you know it was relevant? You don't know. Or I think you do know, you're just doing this anyways. To do like Gull said, you're trying to get stuff on the court record that isn't true. So you could see how these defense lawyers act and why I'm annoyed with them, because they try to present evidence, which they knew wasn't real evidence. So they were just trying to throw me under the bus. So after Gull received McClellan's response, that was after the hearing, and Hennessy's response, that was after the hearing, she made a final ruling. So she says here, the court, having had this matter under advisement following a hearing conducted on March 18, 2024, and having reviewed the evidence admitted at the hearing, the court did not review any evidence that was offered but not admitted. So she's just calling it out again that all that evidence against me, alleged evidence, it didn't get admitted. Said the arguments of the counsel and the briefs and memorandum submitted by counsel now finds that the state provided by preponderance of evidence the defense counsel was sloppy, negligent, and incompetent in their handling of discovery materials. So why this whole contempt hearing came about, and their strategy, Hennessy's strategy, was he knew that Baldwin and Rosie messed up, and I think it was mostly Baldwin, and they were responsible for the crime scene links. So their strategy was, well, McClellan did it too. McClellan linked information too, so they just wanted to redirect. The problem is they had zero evidence to back that up. So they had to manufacture evidence, and that's where I got involved, where they tried to manufacture evidence between me and Nick McClellan and saying he leaked information, even though they couldn't prove what he leaked to me, when he did it, how he leaked it to me. They used some made-up conversations and screenshots, and it didn't work. All right, here's the best way I can explain it. So I have to break some news to everyone. Judge Fran Gull is not my aunt. So I've jokingly said it online. Aunt Gull, Aunt Fran, but it's not. So this is what the defense did and was skipped. So imagine it this way, because they actually tried to do this and they finally thought better of it. Skip and Hennessy and the little crew, they went to the hearing, and imagine them trying to tell Judge Gull, hey, Judge Gull, Fig.Solves is your nephew, and we have proof of it. Judge Gull would be like, well, he's not my nephew. Then Hennessy would say, no, but we have a screenshot. This screenshot says that he's your nephew. Judge Gull would be like, well, he's not my nephew. You need to prove that he's my nephew. So you can't prove that he's my nephew because I've never met the person. I have no idea who he is. What do you mean he's my nephew? Do you have a family tree? Do you have a DNA match that shows? Like, where's the connection? Then Mr. Hennessy says, well, Skip has a screenshot that says he's your nephew. Like, so what Judge Gull supposed to say? Oh, okay, I guess he's my nephew then. Like, that's what all their, quote, evidence is. Well, there's a screenshot. So take that, the same thing where Judge Gull is my aunt because a screenshot says so, to Fig.Solves is a leaker and is friends with Nick McClellan because a screenshot says so. Like, they never, there's no proof of it. Here's what proof would look like. Show an email that comes from Nick McClellan to Fig that has an attached search warrant on it. Or someone from the judge. I don't even know anyone from the judge's office, the court's office. So where's that? Where is the email with an attachment? But the problem is they don't know who sent it to me because no one did. So I guess they would just have to make up a name of someone who sent me something. Like, where's the actual proof? Just because you want to believe something's true, because you hope it's true, doesn't mean it's actually true. This all started when people started calling me a bootlicker and, ooh, I must be on the payroll from Nick McClellan. All because I made a video that says, yeah, the person who said he killed Libby and Abby, you're probably dead, and here's some reasons why. So think about this. Why didn't Hennessy or anyone subpoena me to actually go and argue for myself? Well, maybe Hennessy's not that dumb because he knew better than to have me out there because I would just debunk everything he was saying. So they never contacted me. They never asked me to go out there because I would just make them look silly. So I didn't have a PCA early. I didn't leak it. No one sent it to me. It's all made up stuff. So if you hear rumors claiming that I was involved in leaks or I worked with the prosecution, anyone who claims that, they don't look at actual evidence. So they're probably spreading misinformation. So look at what other things they have done to spread misinformation. So I wouldn't follow someone on YouTube who just makes things up without proof. And if someone says I leaked something, they're making it up without proof because it shows right here there is no proof. And there is no proof because it didn't happen. And the closest to proof they came up with, which wasn't close at all, so say that they proved all of the communication I had with Nick was authentic and true, which it wasn't. How does that prove he leaked anything to me? It doesn't, because it never happened. Instead, they brought forward a collection of fake screenshots, manufactured conversations, and out-of-context snippets. It was just a pile of hearsay and falsified information. So that is exactly why Judge Gull dismissed their so-called evidence against me. It simply wasn't evidence at all because it never happened. And here's a free tip. Maybe the defense should spend more time building a case to defend Rick Allen instead of wasting it on futile attacks against me, which ironically only helped increase my subscriber count. So well done. So this all started when Skip, 2 years ago, we got an argument about Daniel Pearson. And I'm like, dude, it's not Daniel Pearson. What is your proof? He's like, hey man, I got these screenshots. Okay, screenshots don't prove anything. He's like, no, but he was a witness and he's trying to control the narrative. And I told him, by putting screenshots up or saying things online does not make it true. Well, look, he said he didn't know who Bridge Guy was, and then he said he was, and then he's changing his narrative and he's trying to control the narrative. So we got in this argument years ago, me saying screenshots do not matter and things people say online does not matter. It matters what Daniel Pearson told police and what they know. He could say whatever he wants online, whatever BS that he wants, and it doesn't matter. It's just online talking. Who cares? You can make things up in person. That doesn't make him guilty. You need actual evidence. So for years, we've been debating about this, and Skip is very confused. He doesn't understand what evidence is. So he was accusing Daniel Pearson, and he even faked screenshots of a conversation with Daniel Pearson. They even made a fake Facebook with Daniel Pearson in there. I mean, they went really out of their way to prove that Daniel Pearson did it. Again, manufacturing evidence to prove a point. That's what this guy does because no one believes his dumb theory. So if anyone sees these screenshots up, and I don't even have Verizon, so they need to try a little bit better with these fake screenshots. But if you see this thing up, just laugh because it's just made up and they just look bad. So whoever has those, I'm like, wow, that person does not know what evidence is. They're foolish. They're telling their audience things from a fake conversation. I mean, I don't know why they have subscribers after that, but hey, I guess this is fan fiction. So you could, whatever you want to believe, go ahead and believe it, but it's not reality. It's not true. It got proven in court that it's not true. So good luck proving something that isn't true. That's why I've been laughing at these people the whole time. I was never concerned, never worried. I know they just made this stuff up, and I knew they would look foolish, and they did. So it's almost over with. I guess they might still get punished, Baldwin and Rosie, but as far as I'm concerned, it's over with for my part. It didn't work. Nice try. Did it. All right. Hopefully that clarified some things. And if you have any questions, you could read my official letter that was in the court documents. That letter is the truth. Anything else is not the truth. So if you repeat it, so if you say anything other than that, then you're just being dishonest. But if you don't care about that, go right ahead. Have a good one.